This is the Raspberry Pi version B, revision 2, the latest one. One with 2 mounting holes is the second one. Okay, it's got the EDI Max adapter here, Wi-Fi adapter. This is the EW7811UN. And I'm going to show you what happens if you, let's say the Wi-Fi disconnects and you want to reboot or shut it down. So right now it is connected, but so what happens if it's not? Let's say if something were to happen to the Wi-Fi, let's say something stopped it from connecting, so now I got nothing connected to there. Okay, so what do? It's still using 320 milliamps with nothing connected. You could plug in the wire connected directly to it and guess the IP. It does connect. 110 milliamps connects. Okay. So I set the IP of the DHCP server already, so I know the IP address. So one way is to plug in the RJ45, the wired connector here, wired Ethernet, and just log in if you know the IP of your DHCP, and all you gotta do is type a shutdown, which is down. That's to shut it down. That's if you want to shut it down. Hit enter and it will just shut it down. Otherwise, what's the IP? What if you didn't know what the IP was? So let's say you didn't know the IP of the device. You could type in the nmap command -sp, and my range is I'm using the 10 network star, so that would be the command to use. And so it'll list nmap shows you the IPs. Okay, so now that you found the IP by searching, you can SSH into it and then log out. And you could do a shutdown or whatever you want, or reboot or whatever you want to do. Okay, so I would just shut it down. So I'm gonna just shut it down. And so that's one way to shut it down. The other way is to just plug in a keyboard. Standard keyboard, plug it in and just put Control-Alt-Delete. So simple. Just plug in a keyboard. You can plug in keyboard directly, and that won't reboot the machine because it doesn't use a lot of power. Standard keyboard won't use a lot of power. The other thing you could do is just plug it in and type in the root or pi and your password, and hopefully that logs you in, and just type in shutdown -R space now, and it'll shut it down properly. And if everything fails and you can't reboot it any other way, as a last result would be here. There are 2 pins here. These 2 pins here. Right by the P6, and this pin out here, these 2. If you short those 2, it'll reboot it. So right now it's off. We can do that right now. I'm just gonna short those 2 very carefully. Okay, so you just stick a wire in there, and it starts booting. See, that increased the voltage, the current to about 360 milliamps. So it is booting. So if all fails, and you can also use it as a power button. That's like a reset switch that isn't mentioned anywhere. It's like a secret reset switch, and that's like hitting reset on your PC. So as a last resort, you could do that. You can also wire a simple switch, or you can use a paper clip. You can wire it to copper pins and just squeeze it together to reboot it, or you could wire it to a switch, and you'll have yourself a reset switch. Otherwise, you could just unplug it and plug it back in, but you risk damaging data to your SD card, and you don't want to damage anything.